Welcome to Crafty Hints. If you're new here, I'm Chantel. Today I'm doing the She Did What with Dollar Tree Items Challenge once again. All 5 of us chose one item that all 5 of us have to use. So let's see what I did with the 5 items. Here's our 5 items. We had stove covers, a duster, the phone stand, a vase, and the beads. We were supposed to have Mardi Gras beads, but I could only find dress-up beads after going to 5 stores. And I thought I'd knock out this one first. It would be the easiest. I can use 3 items. I'm going to make a tiered stand. So I'm taking these beads and using my low temp glue gun. If you're going to be using small items, you definitely want a low temp glue gun. This is a cheapo glue gun from from Walmart actually, and it just uses the multi-temperature glue sticks that you can get anywhere. So I'm just sticking on these beads, sticking it every few big bead. That way I don't have a lot of glue strings, but I have just enough to hold this and keep it secure on this tin. So should be pretty simple to get this on there and take it around. Not too difficult. And I do like that vase. It almost stung just a little bit to paint it. I did buy a backup one though. Those colors do suit my living room and actually my sister's living room, so she might actually get that other vase. If she's watching, she can give me a double thumbs up. All right, so once I took off this little joining thing, I realized I'm 1 bead short. So I went to the blue beads and I just clipped one off. Not too difficult. But the Mardi Gras beads would work really nice for this, as they're all one size, where my beads have a couple different sizes. So that would definitely be cuter and be in the farmhouse theme. Then I'm going to paint these all black. I'm just going to take them to the garage. I'll have a little spray paint tent. I'm going to pop the garage up just a little bit because, we're in the garage, get a little bit of air flowing, but it just makes it easy to spray paint, especially since it's raining out. Now, when I went to place my vase in the tent, I stepped back on my little tin and it crumpled a little bit, and I did not have a big backup. I was going to do the smaller one, but I really wanted this size, and I think it'll be okay because I wanted to put a placemat on there anyways so that I can then use it for Christmas or farmhouse, and most of the time things will cover that up. But yes, very disheartening. If you've watched my last video, you can see I have definitely run into some difficulties this week. So it's a fresh day. I'm moving on. It's all good. I'm getting ready to get into some Christmas items. Here I'm just dry brushing. I took a little bit of steel and I'm just dry brushing this so it's not that stark black. Gives a little bit of the distressing, the little bit of age effect. And we're just taking this back and forth with this chunky Dollar Tree brush. I think everything I used really was from the Dollar Tree except for the spray paint. So I just kept doing a little bit of distressing and being a little bit sad about my little crinkle there, but it's okay. We've got this. But it's amazing what you can do with just a few Dollar Tree items. I have heard from some of the girls that they incorporated all 5 items into one DIY. I cannot wait to watch that playlist. So everybody will be linked below so that you can watch what they did with the same 5 items. It's such a fun thing that Jackie and I came up with to do together. It started out just the two of us, and now we've, expanded out to other friends. Definitely going to have to visit their channels. When you visit, hit that subscribe for them also. You will not be disappointed. All right, so just finishing that up, and then I'm going to adhere it to the vase. So I took a big craft stick, and you could use a couple little craft sticks, but I thought it would be easier to adhere this to the bottom if I put it over the top. And actually, I don't really need to use E6000 on this one. With the lower temp glue gun, it does allow it to adhere to the bottom of the tin and the popsicle stick. So just trying to flatten this as much as I can. All right, gives me a nice surface area, and just press that down. Put my hand on it. Ta-da! And here we are. So this is, just a tier tray there that I can display a couple Christmas items. Nothing too heavy. As you can see, if it crinkled that easily. All right, DIY 2 is this duster. Oh my goodness, Jackie chose this as a challenge item. What do you do with this? Well, I'm gonna make a sort of Christmas tree. So I'm going to glue this so that it kind of comes around and pulls together, cutting off some of that area that the little handle goes onto. I guess I can hold on to the handle. They probably have refills there. There we go. All right, so kind of reminds me of a tree. I left the little, I can still slide this sort of on there. I left the little elastic there in case I need to hold on to it. And then I'm just using one of Waverly's chalk paints. Oh goodness, it's one of the greens. I cannot remember. I have not used this one very often, but it did absorb a lot. So I'm thinking this is like a blue spruce, right? Oh boy, yeah. It was definitely a challenging item, so I'm excited to see what others did with this one. I just kept going at it, adding more and more green in there. I decided if a tiny bit of blue peeks out, again, it's a blue spruce, right? All right, so continue on with those coats, and whew, this took a while to dry too. Now I thought it needs a stand, so I took 2 tumbling tower blocks and I just hot glued those together. You could definitely use wood glue. And just make sure those are secure. If you're enjoying this crazy video, I do hope that you'll give me a thumbs up and tell me which one you liked the best. Or what would your challenge item be for me? I think it was just, it's always fun to see what we end up doing together. All right, I'm taking some Waverly ink chalk paint and just giving this one coat. I didn't do the bottom. I'm just doing all the sides that will show. Not too terribly difficult. Now I have this bead that I'm going to use so that the tree trunk can go into it. I took one of these. If you find these, I would grab them at the Dollar Tree. They're the super long skewers that they have in the summer. They're thicker. I like to use the smaller skewers for a lot of projects too, but these thicker skewers are almost like a small dowel. So it's a good buy for as many as you get. Just going to continue to paint this bead as well. Once it dried, I'm just going to hot glue it in the center. And now I'm going to take that skewer, and I thought about cutting it down, but I decided to cut the end, but I'm not going to cut the length because it'll run up inside that tree. So I'm going to clip this down a little bit so that it sits right down in that bead, and then I'll give it a little bit of hot glue so it secures it in. And it stands pretty well there, so I'm going to run it up in there. And I'm starting to see that my fingers are turning green because it's not quite dry. I really thought I'd given it enough time, but whew, it took some time. So now I'm just going to pull it around and just keep gluing it and make sure it grabs on to the skewer. And I put it in a little bit of my paint from when I distressed that tin. So, whoops, I just wiped that off real quick and cover it up with a little more green. All right, that elastic can go now. Here it is. I did rub a little bit of antique wax on that stick. What would you do with this duster? Let me know. DIY 3 was this hot pink phone stand. So I took that down to the paint tent too and gave it a once over with that flat black spray paint. Now I'm going to take a popsicle stick and just cut that to fit those little arms on the front that you would normally put your phone in. I'm going to turn this into a little bit of an easel for tiered trays. But I don't really want it to look just like a phone stand. So we're just going to give it a few embellishments so it doesn't look totally plastic. Crafty hint here, this little tiny stick is from one of my pumpkins, those pumpkins that come on the sticks from Dollar Trees. If you put just a little bit of hot glue at the end and you put your beads on these, then you can, I should be letting it go all the way to the top. Oh, there we go. Then you can paint it and they'll just go up to that dot of glue. They won't roll off and you can paint them more easily. Then just put them on some floral foam. Oh, I chose a pumpkin. All right, I put that craft stick in. It's all dry after I painted it with the ink chalk paint. Going to just put the beads on the side. Just gives it, a little bit of something else instead of this flat, just plastic thing. Then I'm thinking, what else can I do? Now, you could add some more craft sticks, like on the top across it, so it gave it more of an easel feel. Maybe across the bottom. Let's distress it. That'll work. Right? It'll match that tiered platter tray, kind of a tiered tray, I guess, a single tiered tray. So just continue to distress this just a little bit with that chunky brush again, using some steel, a little bit of elephant. Waverly chalk paints just work so nice. Oops, if you mess up, you can kind of wipe that off. Can even go with a washcloth quick if you needed to. Or paper towel, wet wipe. All right, a little bit of elephant. See, there I did. I knew I had a reason for saying that. All right, just continue to go over it so it doesn't look like this brand new plastic piece. But it's still, it's just missing something. So I decided to go back with the jumbo craft sticks, paint a couple of them in ink, And where it attaches in the back, I'm going to put a couple of these to cover up. You can put it to different heights for your phone, depending on how you want to use it. So just measuring those, clipping them down, and adhering them with a little bit of hot glue. I'm not going to hot glue the stand together. That way, if I want to fold up this little easel when I'm not using it on my tier tray, I could definitely do so. But I can foresee adding some new little Christmas sign to it. I'm sure you'll see that very soon. So now I'm just going to distress those little pieces of wood so that they fit in and match the rest of it. Pretty easy. But you could do craft sticks all the way down this if you wanted to. Using the phone stand as just the back. And here it is, just done. And here it is with a little hello pumpkin. I think it's fun. All right, here's one more look at what we made today. We've got that tier tray and the stand and a really silly tree. But hey, I don't think it turns out too bad. Please visit the lovely ladies from the playlist. It's linked below. I'm so happy to have you here today. I hope you'll like and subscribe and hit that bell twice. Here's some other videos you might enjoy.